Today we're talking about the fastest way to improve any Tonex tone model. And when I say improve, I mean make it right for your monitoring system, your guitar, and your idea of what the end result should be. And we're not going to use any outboard equipment. So basically here I am in Tonex, and today I'm using a really killer new tone model collection that I just put out, which is based off of my incredible Boogie Mark 535 head. And these tones sound absolutely spectacular, captured through a 212 Celestion vintage 30 loaded cab. Really been loving these and been getting a lot of great feedback on them. So there's a tone that works really nicely out of the box. But here's the thing. I have a monitoring system here that's tuned to my room. I test these on numerous systems, headphones, FR, my studio monitors, and I get something that's going to work across many different systems. But I do not know what system the end user is going to be using, what guitar they're going to be using. And there may, and oftentimes there's going to need to be tweaks made. So today I want to show you using the advanced settings on Tonex. And we could do this with the hardware editor or right here in Tonex software. It's going to be the same results, but we want to concentrate on our advanced settings with our EQ set to post. And we're going to focus on our bass, middle, and treble frequencies and set these in a way that's going to give us a very intuitive way to tweak our tones. So first and foremost, we need to understand that bass and treble are both shelf EQs. So we can set the frequency of that shelf. So what I like to do is come into the bass frequency and actually set the shelf EQ up around 600. And then the treble frequency, I'm going to bring all the way down to 1000. So anytime I move this up, it's going to be affecting, like a shelf, all of the frequencies above 1000 hertz that I have it set at. And the bass control is going to be, like a shelf, adjusting all the frequencies below 600 when I have it set there. So what this is going to allow us to do is to be able to use our treble and bass controls as just broad tone controls to fix any issues that we have maybe with our monitoring system, or maybe a guitar sounds too bright through a particular tone model. So starting with the treble, if we notice, we'll just go to extremes here. And I don't feel that this tone model actually needs much of anything. It's sounding great right out of the box. But if I was to take this all the way down, you'll see how this affects the tone model. Really makes it quite a bit darker. Now, I don't think anybody's going to argue that's probably too dark, but what if we pulled it up at its default setting in our monitoring system, it was a little bit bright? We could be a lot more subtle about this. And we could just use this to dial in just the right level of brightness. And since we can save this as a preset, we could save different profiles for different guitars. Let's say we want to use a Strat with this and it was too bright and we needed a little bit more pulled back. That works, right? We save it as a preset. We have that for our Strat, and then we have one for our Les Paul or whatever other guitar. Now, if we go the other way with it, we're going to really turn this into something not so great. Very bright and harsh. But if we did have a preset that was a little bit too dark sounding, a little boost up on those treble frequencies is going to work nicely. Like I said, I think this is pretty balanced just at its default setting. But if your monitoring system is causing a problem with that, we can have a very quick, intuitive way of moving that by just setting our treble frequency to 1000 and having this sort of brightness control, brighter or darker sounding. Same thing works for the bass frequency. By setting this to 600, we're going to be able to deal with some low frequency that might be a problem in a particular monitoring system, and also some mud. So if I take this to extremes again, let's pull this way back. Now that obviously thins things out so much, and I would never recommend that, especially on a nicely balanced tone model like this. But if we take that back a little bit, maybe we want something a little thinner. Again, I wouldn't do that here, as that's working quite nicely. And if we go to the other extreme, we see that it's going to fill things out. Again, it's too much for this. But we can look at this as a bit of a dimmer switch here. We could come in and just add a little bit. If we wanted more chunk from that bottom, and the lower mids. So let's say we had a preset that was nice the way it is. One other thing we can do with the mid frequency, sometimes a preset lacks some clarity and has a little bit of muddiness, but we don't really want to brighten it up. One adjustment on the mids that I really like is, and it's not for everything, but if we go to around 450 hertz with a Q of around 1 to 1.3, let's say, and we just pull that out a bit, it has the tendency to clean up a little bit of the boxy, muddy frequencies. I'm going to pull this all the way back just to go to extremes. We'd want to be careful not to do too much in pulling that out, simply because it can really hollow the sound out. And we'll actually lack some body to our tone. So that's another move that we can have in our toolkit to kind of clean up some mud in a tone model or preset. So I think with all of those moves, and again, you're going to have to be discerning with the particular tone model and monitoring system you're using to what it is you have to do, but it gives some nice broad strokes and subtle changes that we can make to really improve just about any tone model through our particular monitoring system with our particular guitar. I hope you found that helpful. The links are below to this tone model collection if you're so inclined. I've been loving this, and like I said, been getting a lot of great feedback about it. So I'm really, really happy with it. The links are below if you want to go grab yourself a copy. And I thank you in advance if you do grab those, and I really truly hope you enjoy them. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. Also, please subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content. I'll be back really soon with some more Tonex content. I'm going to leave you today with the full-blown demo video for these tone models used in a full production. Hope you enjoy the music on the way out, and we'll talk very soon. Ciao for now.